Live. Welcome back to the Chammy, the only Chammy where vampires will love you forever, and you can get a professional tarot card reading right here from a haunted house in a haunted graveyard. Why is my screen so dark today? It doesn't make any sense to me. Hey Ariana, how are you, dear? It's good to see you. Happy Tuesday. I guess my screen's bright as it's gonna get. Hey Nikki, hey Cottonfly, welcome back to the Chammy. That's okay, Ariana. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it, make it all better. So welcome back. Beyonce vibes. Oh, me. Yes, darling, you can have a card for Duncan's feelings. I'm gonna send it to you privately, though. What is up with all these bugs? I'm talking to anybody and the bugs. Spirit, what does Nikki need to know? Because, in case he sneaks on here or something.
He's a bum. That's what he is.
You're right. He's a bum. He needs to put a ring on. He needs to put a ring on that. Okay. He needs to Beyonce his way over to your finger and put a ring on it. Oh, you got the sweetest card. Okay, I guess I'll just show you. 4 of Wands. What's going on with you, Ariana? Please do tell me, honey. I'm here for you. We're here for you. Anyways, I always do a free collective message at the end of these paid readings for anyone and everyone who finds them. If you want to skip to the end now, skip to the loo, my darling. If you don't want to listen to the mentoring sessions or the tarot card readings or the blah, 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 blah. It's a long story. It's okay. We got all day. So this channel is here for you to be able to comment and talk about, what's ailing you and have it validated, your pain, your sorrow, or even your happiness and your gratitude. Hey, Addie Bear. Addison. Okay, I'm sending you that card on the phone, darling. I know you'd been asking me telepathically all day, and I meant to do it anyways. Hey, Leia, you asked me about a deck and what it was called. Which tarot deck were you talking about? The Golden Girls? Which is like one of my main decks now because it's so cute. Or were you talking about Liminal Space? I hate this card. I always take this card out of my deck, and then there's another one called Blood Sacrifice that I take out of the deck because I don't like them. In fact, I'm going to take them out now. Oh, there it is. It's such a terrible card. I hate it. I hate one because it says killing on it, and the other one because it has a slaughtered animal and its guts on it. Ugh. I tried to reach out to this guy. The first time, he didn't text me back. The second time on his other account, he started texting, and then he asked me to send him pics so he could recognize me. Yes, it was a deck in one of your previous recorded readings. Yeah, the only ones I've been using, darling, are the Liminal Space deck and Golden Girls. So Golden Girls is about $17 on Amazon, and the Liminal Space deck is about $500. Yeah, it must be the Golden Girls one, dear, because see, here's Blanche and Rose and Dorothy making a cake. Here's Sophia with her lion. And then Dorothy as the 3 of Wands. Beautiful Blanche again from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, as the star. Rose and her boyfriend, Miles, as the 2 of Cups. Here's my favorite one. Oh, Rose is the sun. I love that one. I identify a lot with Rose. Rose and Blanche. And did you guys know they were best friends in real life? Like, for years? I mean, and of course, Sophia is the magician for Sicilian curses. By the way, if you need one, please email me. But the most beautiful card in this deck, which I don't keep this card in any of my tarot decks, nor buy decks that have this character in it. But this is my favorite card from the deck because it's Blanche and she's got her cheesecake, such a savage in her hand, you know? And I like how this devil makes me feel. The devil should be a fun card because you were sent here to have fun, not be afraid. So Ariana. Then I sent him a pic. I guess he recognized me, but had an issue with me. He just blocked me and didn't say anything. I thought he liked me, but I think someone turned him against me. Okay, so let's go back and do some revising. You texted him, and he did. Oh, I wasn't even looking at my phone, Nikki, to see. Do you have any other questions, darling? Let me know. I love that number 444. That's my number. So Ariana, we can revise this. First of all, it obviously is triggering you. Yes, he is. He wasn't rude to you before, but he's being rude to you now. So ask yourself, what is it that you really want to happen? Do you want him to unblock you? Do you want him to accept you? Do you want him to talk to you? Because if you really like this guy, you can turn it around. I know that sounds crazy because they blocked you, but I want to get you to the point where you're feeling better and not trying to serve him. You're serving you. Sometimes rejection is protection, Ariana. I feel like you're somebody who just really wants to be accepted and loved for your true, authentic self. So I feel like always being your true, authentic self is important, like you are when you come here. And I don't think you should worry about him. Okay, I don't think you should worry about what he cares about or what he thinks or what he feels, because at the end of the day, he's ruined your whole day. Okay, and you can make your day better and be more progressive in your situation if you just revise it. Okay, I messaged him, he messaged me back, I sent him a picture, we made a connection, and watch it change. You might be really stuck in your reality of the fact that he blocked you, so just tell yourself you can do better and let it go. Also, remember, you guys, don't do anything that's going to trigger you. Ariana, did you know that it might trigger you if he didn't give you the response you wanted? Right now. Oh, Ariana, I'm sending you a big virtual hug. So I went to go get a birthday cake for my ex and have a birthday party for him because I knew that no one else would do it. I've known the girl at the bakery for a long time, and she's like, "Are you really doing this?" I'm like, "Yeah. Revenge is a dish best served cold." She laughed. So sometimes you have to do things because you care about your friends and you care about the integrity of your friendship, and then sometimes you have to do things that are actions towards your own integrity. Okay, I think in regards to your integrity here, I would have never sent him a picture. In fact, if guys are starting to ask you to send them pictures, ladies, just don't do it to prove who you are or to see if they recognize you or whatever. Don't. Because now he can take your picture that you sent him and go make money off of it or pretend it's him. Just don't do it, babe. You're worth so much more. You didn't have an issue. He didn't have an issue with you before. Okay, but you also have to understand he might not have an issue with you at all, and it could just all be you. You have to take 100% responsibility for that. He went to high school with you. Have you thought about just calling him on the phone? Just call him on the phone, babe. Be like, what's up with the blog? Just trying to make a reconnection if that makes you feel better. But you can revise this. You can turn it around. But at the same time, if I was you, girl, I'd be like, yeah, right now. Although I'm not the kind of person that thinks or feels like that about others, I wouldn't really, wish that on my worst enemy if I had one. But tell yourself you can do better. This is what we've been talking about all last week in regards to law of attraction, manifesting tricks, stuff to help you release that resistance. You can do better. I changed my mind about this, etc., etc. Getting ghosted is the worst way to be treated. Okay, so I think we've talked about this before. I never get ghosted. Don't even worry. I don't even worry about it. Like, what the fuck is that shit? The only time I'm ghosted, everybody ghosted my house and in the graveyard I live in. When you think that you're going to get ghosted, when you feel that you're going to get ghosted, when you get on that trip where you feel like that all the time, or you worry about that with new people or just people in general, that's all you're going to get. I know this sounds so Disney, and I say this all the time, but what you think about, you bring about. So don't worry. For his actions, he's already rotting in his own personal hell vortex on a hell train. Okay, people who act like that, people who you give them your best, and they block you, or they do that to that, or they do something that, like, it's. But if you're not giving your best, question yourself first. Okay. Excuse me, I missed my mouth. You want a guy who doesn't care too much about what others think or say about me. Yeah, and that's a really important quality to find in everybody, in friends, in life in general. It's really important to find people who you can connect with, who find your connection sacred. Okay. But must remember that most guys, they're pretty simple. They're pretty simple. Hey, Lisa, welcome back to the Chammy. How are you today? So I'm just going to get out my notebook so we can start going over some of this mentoring stuff. So I'm just going to pull a few more cards for Nikki because she did donate. And oh my goodness. So we've got the 7 of Wands. That's about really sticking up for what you want in this situation that you're in your life, in general, what you want, what you believe in. Okay. Also showing that you're willing to defend, that which you want the most, which is, your partnership and the family that you have with your partnership. And you're doing a good job at it too. It's so funny because the energy behind it is the Tower, showing that, whatever's happened in the past, maybe before Italy, that's what this card's saying, is in the past. Now it's time to rebuild the foundation of love and trust and keep it going. Keep that flame going. Keep that lightning going. Because both of you, this card also shows how thunderstruck in love brought you to where you are today. So here's one more card for you, Nikki. Ace of Pentacles really showing you that this is not really about money. in regards to his feelings for you. This is really about how more prosperous and fulfilled you actually make him feel in the life you've created together. I hope somehow that helps, Nikki. Okay. I hope she's still there. Are you still there, love? So what are you doing today, Elise? Are you feeling any better? And Ariana, what have you decided that you're going to do? Are you going to stick with the I want a guy that doesn't care too much about what others think or say about me? Then it's already yours. Just keep saying that to spirit. Just keep saying that to the universe, you know? And, you know, love isn't, you don't have to go looking for love. It's already found you, believe it or not. I got to take my trash out. It's trash day. Okay, Elisa, great. What's your question, dear? Thank you so much for your donation. Look at my fan broke. At least it still works though. Have you started your new job yet? Energy update between F and Elisa, please, spirit. She needs to know about that right now. Oh, 2 cards. You got 2 major arcanas. Strength in the Devil card and strength in the Strength card. It's so interesting. Does one of you maybe have a Capricorn, Venus, or Sun? Or rising or moon or something? Spirit is showing that, you know, while you could say there's been some destruction, I really don't feel like there's any kind of vortex of negativity going on as much as there is. Seeing this Devil card, once again, is not a negative Devil card. I mean, she's really telling you, hey, you can turn this into something fun. And their feelings for you, they are passionate. They're strong. They might be a little distant, but that's just because they're a lazy lion in love. Maybe they're not as ambitious at their age to seek another romance that's just a dead end. You know, they want this passion. They want their cake and to eat it too. They want this fun. They have this vision. But maybe there hasn't been somebody they've met yet that's strong in heart and mind, and you know that they really can realize they can build that with. So was I talking to you about what, Ariana? He's not interested in pursuing you anymore. He's lying. He's absolutely lying. He's just lazy. Lazy, lazy, lazy. He wants his cake and to eat it too. Okay. But you can have what you want. I don't care if he says, don't darken my doorstep ever again. No, I had asked Elisa if she'd started her new job yet. Well, the cards say he wants you, okay? Spirit says he wants to be with you, okay? But he might not be able to be with you in the right way. We'd really have to go a little bit more in depth to get into what's going on, because most of it comes from within you. If you've been going around thinking he doesn't think I'm sexy, he doesn't want to be interested in pursuing me anymore, blah, blah, blah. Have you been saying that shit to yourself? Have you been thinking and feeling and emotionalizing that more than what you do want with your specific person? Because we're all going to get into that right now in regards to some of the stuff that I've been wanting to talk about. Hey, Naomi, welcome to the Chammy. How are you? You're going through your 3rd chemo session right now? Well, I don't do health questions. I'm sorry. But if you need to talk about your grief or You need people to listen to you and validate your pain and sorrow, or even happiness or gratefulness. We're here for you. But I don't do health tarot card questions. But I am a death doula. So if you're on your third chemo session right now, what stage are you in? Because I would highly recommend the God State meditations for you. I helped to cure cancer with that. So just look it up. I would recommend. There's several of them out there on YouTube. I use Jasmine's, and I use it often if I feel like I'm about to crash and burn. But I'll share it with you in the chat so you guys can all try it out. Sorry about that. The ghost kind of just froze everything. I think my aunt's on like her 1000th chemo session, so you're only on third. You're doing good. You're gonna be okay. So I absolutely love this meditation. I like to share this with as many people as possible. I haven't needed it for a long time because I have been feeling very stable. I did this for about 90 days between October and January. Sometimes I need it and I like to come back to it. So go ahead and check that out. And just remember, nobody has an expiration date. So you're on chemo, but just make sure that, if you're getting the protein you need, you're getting the rest that you need. Okay. And that you're making sure that you're detoxing between them and staying clean, keeping your bed sheets clean. If you don't have someone to help you, there are many death doula services, or even just, caregiving services for people who are not dying, who might have ailments and illness and stuff like that are available, through, they should be available through, churches and different foundations that might be there in your town or in your city or your state or your country. I'm sorry you're going through this. It sucks. I know I've taken care of people on chemo. Love you too, Elisa. Make sure that you listen to what I'm about to get into, because like we talked about last week, you can do better, Elisa. Just change your mind. You want something different, okay? Maybe it's a better version of him. So what would that version be like? But just tell yourself something different so you can release the pain and the sorrow and the fucking of, I don't want to pursue you anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Just know that in your manifestation, you can't fuck it up. Why? Because you're never stuck with anything. Okay. Especially when you're living in the end. I used to get kind of freaked out about what living in the end means. Because I found out about death at a really young age in a weird way. And then it was like, had a lot of problems coping with it while growing up. And it really bothered me for most of my life. Okay. So when I started hearing about, living in the end from my mentor, I was like, what is she talking about? Living in the end. Like, is she talking about that Doors song? Is she talking about like the day I die? It's pretty freaked out. So I did my own research, and of course I'd only been to her her readings once at this point, and but when I realized that it was actually feeling into a frequency of knowing it was done, knowing that the experience I wanted to have was done, that it was going to or that it was going to happen. Like, that's a state of living in the end distilled at its finest. So, like, for instance, here's an example. Born mostly deaf, right? But I could finally start to hear at about 4 or 5 years old, after multiple surgeries to try to correct what was going on, right? I always wanted to be a singer, so I just started like mimicking, Cinderella and Snow White and all those Disney characters, right? Which that's what helped me learn how to sing. And even though I had like a speech impediment and I couldn't talk really well, I always just knew one day I'd be a singer. I'd be a good singer. And no matter what anybody told me, even like vocalist teachers were like, "We can't teach you anything. Sorry." I just knew it was going to happen. Same with my guitar playing. And, it doesn't matter if I have a Grammy or not, or I have a #1 hit on a chart or whatever. What matters is that now I can tell you and all 120% that if I'm not the best singer, guitar player who's a girl in Atlanta, Georgia, then please, well, the one who is, stand up. Okay. So I always only cared about the fact that I didn't, I just wanted to be able to do that. I knew that if I could do that, it would make me feel better about who I was as a person. Okay. So I just always lived in the end that I'd be a better singer. I'd be a better singer, or I'd be a singer someday, or I'd be a guitar, or I'd be a musician. I just knew it would always happen. And it just happened. I manifested it, but I didn't really realize that I was manifesting it. Like, I just was telling myself things that made me feel better, even if it wasn't reality. And even today, I do it on myself when I get really hard on myself with my music. So when it comes to the relationships that you want, or the money that you want to manifest, or the house that you want, or the car that you want, and I know it's real weird to like compare human beings, to an inanimate object that has no life in it, but literally it is just as easy to manifest a parking spot or a dime as it is to manifest the man of your dreams or $1 million. It's really seen it happen. I've literally been through some of that. Have I manifested $1 million? Sure. Somewhere in one of these realities, I have. Yeah, I do it all the time, Ariana. I would rather I'm in the situation where I am the one who wants to move on, or I am the one that is turned off, or I'm the one that cuts them off. Okay? Why? Because I've gotten really into this whole thing where it's my reality. Okay? I know what I want, I know who I am, and I know who I'm going to be when I get to the end of me. Okay? Sometimes you have to put aside, the wanting and the needing and the self-gratification of having a partner, or having whatever it is that you want to manifest. Sometimes you have to let it go and just let it happen while you are having fun or working on yourself. Having the best version of yourself. Hold on a second. Sure. Bing bong. Living in the end, yes. Wish it would rain. No, this is not nicotine. I do not condone smoking or vaping, but I'm also not going to smoke weed, so I decided to just vape some weed. I find it difficult to move on without any closure or clarity. I just be there confused as to what's going on. See, I used to feel a lot like that. I felt a little bit bad about the guy who dumped me by email, and I didn't find the email until 10 years later. This is also a person who complained about gas prices. So I thought to myself, wow, I must really suck. It must really suck if, he can't put gas in his gas tank to come pick me up and take me out on a date. Maybe I should just go put some gas in my gas tank and take him out on a date, right? But the guy, even though I knew him for many, many years and then started dating him, it just didn't work out. It didn't work out because, once again, I was not in my power. I was just going through a breakup with my fiance, my one and only fiance. And at that time, I thought that my fiance had ceased to exist. So I was going through some things, and my dad had a heart attack, and I lost my job, and then I had to go turn around and go from Hooters to Waffle House. What the fuck? Nobody wants to go from Hooters to Waffle House. And I hated my life. My mom was in a wheelchair. I was her caregiver. All I wanted to do was play rock and roll. But I had to take on some responsibilities. And then, even though I felt so hurt by this person I'd known for years, since damn near high school, I just kind of just gave up on it. One day I was just like, I'm done. I surrender. I'm not looking for love. Love already found me. And I just kept telling myself that. And I went from size what the fuck to size, I went from size 0 to size what the fuck because I was misdiagnosed with thyroid problem or whatever, hypothyroid disease. So I spent some time on Synthroid not knowing that I was allergic to it, and it was starting to cause heart problem, and I was just getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter because of the Synthroid and not having a thyroid problem. Finally, went to a new doctor, got it all taken care of, and I'm now in the process of losing the last 3 pounds. I'm gonna feel like a brick shit house and come over there, Ariana, and punch these guys out. Yeah, you live near a railroad? Yeah, that's totally understandable. Well, if you do ever feel suicidal, you can just dial mine. Okay, and it's always on my description, you guys. And there's always going to be a grief counselor on that other line. That even if you just need someone to talk to, and I'm not here, or you can't find anyone to talk to, you can call 988. Even if you don't feel suicidal, you just need someone to talk to for free. I think we all have points where we really hate our lives. For me, it's like I'm taking a shower and there's a roach staring at me because of the neglect of the house, or having a meltdown because there's active paranormal stuff going on in the house, and I get really down because I'm like, don't see my manifestation showing up in my 3D reality, which was another thing that I wanted to talk to everybody about today. Because I think what's happening to you, Ariana, is that you want to manifest the things that you want, but you're just not sure how to harness your own power. I think we all get really lost on how to harness our own power when it comes to, hey, babe, how are you, Lido? How are you doing, girl? Every time I see your name, I think of Jared Leto, who, by the way, just turned 51. He's aging like a vampire very well. You want to be with a specific person, but your ex shows up. You want to win $1 million, but instead, $5, or you find $5. You have to you want to buy a new car, but your older car just broke down and you need to fix some things on it, and because you need to keep driving it until you can manifest that new car. You're in a situation where your landlord wants you out of the house for no reason, or else they're going to raise your rent. And you want to buy a house, but you're not so sure you want to buy a house where you are or where you could go, because you always have this dream about going somewhere else amazing than the Southeast. No, I'm not 51. Oh my God, no. I'm not 51 at all. Liz is. Liz just turned 50, actually. What I said was Leto's name. Every time Leto comes in, every time she comes in the chat, it reminds me of Jared Leto, in his last name. And he just turned 51. Okay. He's the lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars. And I said, he's aging great like a vampire. I am 29. So, Two of Wands is about vision, Ariana. You get this card. You've gotten this card before in the past. 51's not that bad at all. I mean, Addison. Addison, wouldn't you agree that Jared Leto is aging really well for 51? I hope you understand who that is for a second. I mean, I think for 51, so here's the link. You can go check it out when you get some time. I think 51 is an amazing age. And I think he's doing pretty good for 51. Many people in my family who are in their 50s, they don't look a day or 25. I think Jared's looking pretty good for 51 though. But it's really about a state of mind and the health that you in being on that healthy journey that helps you stay. It's not just genetics. At the end of the day, I don't believe it's just genetics. I believe that you can have really good genes and still mess it up. Your birthday's 3 days after Christmas? Right on. Right on. My dad's 105 and he looks like he's in his 60s. He looks like he's 55, 59, 55, between 55 and 16. I love it when people think I'm a minor. It's great. I really need to see your ID, man. Take the mask off. Or, that's really you? No, dumbass. It's the girl next door. She went to the DMV for me. So, just remember, Ariana, your feelings in regards to what you're manifesting are just as important as your desires. I don't know if you ever took time to listen to what we had talked about in regards to climbing the ladder, but you should definitely try that technique sometime. trying to manifest whatever you're trying to manifest. Like I said, living in the end, knowing it's done, even just saying it's going to happen is enough. You don't even have to believe in it, really. Just the knowing it's going to happen. It's like, the water on the pot is going to boil. You don't have to believe in it. You just know. It's the same frequency. It's the same feeling. You okay? Are you okay? And how many of you have lived in the end and the opposite is still coming up? It keeps going by the house, yeah. And that's fine to take it as a sign. If it feels like it's a sign, then it is a sign. But just remember, nothing has a meaning unless you give it a meaning. And remember, no one can really make you feel anything you don't want to feel. And I know that sounds so fudged up, but let me explain. Okay, let me just explain real quick. So we'll use Ariana's situation with this guy where he blocked her. Had it been me, I would have messaged the guy with no expectations. Because that's just how I am. But I would also have only messaged him for the self-gratification of how happy it made me feel to send a message, and how happy I knew that whatever message I was sending, they would be grateful to receive. Whether I get a response or not, I just don't care. Why? Because I'm so wrapped into how much joy it brought me to communicate something that was special to me, or something that I, even just saying hi or whatever. I didn't get wrapped into the what if they don't, or what if they do. Just let it go. I just let it. Why? Because I'm the majestic ass queen of my reality. Okay? I don't need someone else to self-validate me and my feelings and who I am and what I want. Because I know it's already done. Now, you might be having dreams of what you want to manifest, and it's not showing up, or things like it in regards to your 3D reality are showing up. You want to win $1 million, but you only win a scratch off, or you want to win $1 million and you only win $5, or you want to win that $1 million or that 500K and you only get a free ticket. I think I said that, but these are all just signs, just like you want to manifest your specific person, or you're manifesting your specific person, or a specific situation, or something that you want, something like it shows up, right? Something like it shows up, or something that you don't want that's like it shows up, like your ex. Okay. This often happens to me. Well, I'm manifesting my specific person, or as I'm manifesting my specific person, or my dreams come true, correct? And then I'm just like, I have a choice here. Do I want to respond? Or do I not want to respond? Do I want to be upset because SP didn't rear his beautiful face? Or do I want to be more upset that the ex reared his ugly head? Neither. I don't have time for this chaos in my head. Choose your battles wisely, Bruja. Choose your battles wisely. So when it does show up in your subconscious, like, oh my gosh, I had this dream once, okay, where my dad and I won $1 million, and we bought a house and moved to Nashville, or just moved to Nashville. I don't even think we bought a house. I might have had another dream about us buying a house, okay, or somewhere, but this happened, and I really could feel the dream, and I even knew what month it was that it was going to happen. And every time May rolls by, I'm just like, is this it? Is this going to be the month? Is this going to happen? This was 8 years ago. It hasn't happened yet in this reality, but that doesn't mean it won't happen tomorrow or today or the next day. And I really felt like, why would I have a dream like that if it wasn't going to happen? Then, I kind of just left it alone and I was more into trying to realize some more scarier dreams and why I was having them, only to realize that somebody was trying to remotely seduce me who I had no feelings for. While I had a soulmate connection with him, I didn't have a romantic soulmate connection with him. And I am glad that I was able to figure out what was going on in that dream state and block it if need be. Yes, you can block remote seduction. You can block curses. You can block negative vibes and spells. How? Because you reject them. Okay? Just don't fuck with a Sicilian curse. Okay, so why is your specific person or your manifestation that you want showing up in your dreams? Because spirit, your subconscious, is trying to show you once again that this is already yours. It means that your subconscious is saying that this is yours. Your subconscious believes that it's already yours, that you can have this. It means that you have accepted the reality of what you want being true and being real and already being yours subconsciously. Why does the X show up, or the $5, or maybe not the apartment or house you dreamed of, but yet you got this opportunity? Because you shifted on the inside. So everything has to shift around you, because everybody and everything is you pushed out. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure my neurodiversities are going to get around this. It's like being dyslexic and trying to learn math. It can be difficult. Or trying to learn a monologue, or trying to whatever. But once again, it's your subconscious has impressed that, this is something that you can have. But when it came to, once again, living in the end and not really sure if I could feel it or not. Some of these things have been really, really difficult for me, especially the everybody's you pushed out thing. Because how could a bitch who put shea powder in my hair and try to kill me like that? How could she be me pushed out? Doesn't make any sense. How could somebody who hurt my feelings or did something bad be me pushed out? That never made any sense to me. I'm not sure that I am so accepting of everybody and everything being you pushed out. But I will say I can see the reality of it being real. I can see maybe why some of those things happen that I just said. Because once again, everybody you pushed out is just what you think and feel, how people are going to show up to you. They have no choice or, but to show up that way. Things have no choice but to show up the way that you really feel, think, and believe it is. For instance, the ghosting thing. Molly says the ghosting thing often, Ariana, where He ghosted me. She really emotionalizes it. And boom. She's right back in that chaotic vortex of being ghosted. And then I have to date every guy who's ghosted her on the phone while we chat. It sucks. I finally got to the point where I had to tell her, look, you gotta fucking stop. Because this is what's happening. You're hooking up with guys and you're doing this. Just fucking stop. She's like, oh my God, I am a good guy. So she took a little break from Tinder, got her shit together, and just revised everything and became the better person of herself that she wanted to be, found a better therapist. And she's still working on herself like we all are every day. Okay? But once again, I feel like everybody you pushed out can be very real. I'll think about someone and post on Instagram. I'll think about someone and they'll call me or text, or send me a message. And that right there is a perfect example of everybody's you pushed out. Sorry, the ghost got a hold of the computer here. Haunted electronics. So once again, your dreams are showing you. That's impressed upon your subconscious, whether it's good or bad. Take it as a gift because that gives you a chance to work through the challenges that these dreams are showing you, or even the things showing up in your 3D reality that you don't want. Know that if your ex is showing up instead of your specific person is just right around doing the work well. I actually made a joke about this yesterday. My little puppy, she gets really excited at night before bed, and wants to play really hard. So we'll play really hard, right? And then for some reason, the way that she tells me that she wants to play, she'll try to hump my leg or my heart or whatever body part is accessible to her. And I just was like, I just don't know. She's so weird. And I was like, yeah, dog humping my arm today, SP tomorrow. But I was just making a funny manifestation joke because I feel like, we have to take what we've learned about manifesting and apply it to all aspects of what we're trying to manifest. I feel like, okay, so they say that, okay, your ex is showing up and your SP's not, but that means that, SP's right around the corner. Then that must mean that if you're manifesting $1 million and you won, $5 or a free ticket or scratch off or whatever, that $1 million is right around the corner, right? So, and if things are showing up, like I explained with the house, I know it's stupid to compare once again humans to inanimate objects, but I just feel like once again, you can manifest your specific person, the love of your life, the house of your dreams, the life of your dreams, as easy as a dime or a parking spot close to the door that you want to go into. Dreams are here to help help you take notice of what's holding you back. Same with things that happen in your 3D reality that might seem like a challenge or might come up that you're like, why this? I want my SP. Why this? I want my house. Or why this? I want to pay this instead of that. Or why, it's one half a dozen of another. But there are challenges when manifesting. Okay. And, look at those challenges as if they are blessings. Because they're going to help you pick apart and take time to become the best version of yourself. Do you have any manifestation techniques you implement? Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Like I was talking about it last week too. Some of the ones that I've used that help me the most are I can do better. That helps me get rid of the resistance that I'm having built up against whatever it is I am manifesting. I can think better than this. I can change my mind. I can change this situation. Telling myself something that feels like I'm serving what I want instead of what I don't want. That's my biggest game. Okay, because once again, life is like a game, and manifesting. If manifesting is like a game, then it's definitely like a chess game, and you got to play it correctly. Because if you don't, you're going to get scrambled eggs instead of eggs Benedict. Okay, this is why I like the law of assumption so much, because if I want eggs Benedict, I'm going to get eggs Benedict. Okay, but with law of attraction, it's more about vibration, and this guy looks lost. I use a book and write notes of things I'd like to manifest to put in the box, and I put sticky notes on mirrors. That's cool. Me too. But once again, that's stuff that helps you boost whatever it is that you're doing, and that's awesome. And at the same time, you must understand, though, that the feelings you have about these desires that you put in the box, you put on the mirror, is just as important as the desire itself. Affirmations won't do it for you. They're only there to help make you feel and get into the feeling of living in the end that it's already done, or that it's going to happen. Or like today, I just decided, okay, I'm just going to serve those feelings that I want to feel instead of feeling the feelings I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel like I'm going to get kicked out of my apartment until I'm ready to leave. I'm something bigger and better. I don't want to feel like that every day. I am working to the bone to make sure that the rent now gets paid, and I don't even have a nice apartment anymore. Like I everything in my apartment is at least 30 years old. Okay. And they don't even offer me anything better. Just more rent because this rent's going for this or that or that. So I barely sleep because all I do is work. I've got 10 jobs. 10. And that's so that I can keep up with not only the rent, but inflation. And it has become so fucking overwhelming. But at the same time, I just tell myself, this must be showing up. When I get slow, I'll be like, this slow time must be showing up because maybe that $1 million is around the corner, or something that will supplement so that I can get into a more, I really try to stop serving that which does not serve me. Those feelings of, do I want to sit here and stew in my shit all day about how it's going to work out? No, because we are not supposed to sit around and go, why, where, what. That the only whys you need to be doing is, why does my SP love me? Why do I love myself? Why do I love others? Why do others love me? Why does this make me feel happy? And why does that not make me feel happy? I don't want to feel like that again. Okay? I had a male lacrosse player that hated me, yet was also obsessed with me. At one point, every time he saw me, he would say something sick, and we would fall out. Oh, that's terrible. When I worked for Nickelodeon and I was a kid, there was always this guy there that treated me like that too. Okay. And it was so uncomfortable. And I would tell them about it, and they're like, okay, we'll just put you on the other side of the set. So every time I got stuck with him to do work, it was absolutely terrible. And then one day I just fucking quit Nickelodeon because he actually told me something terrible about my tits, and I was like not having it, because he was 18 plus playing a minor, and I was a minor playing a minor. And they wouldn't do anything about it. Like, you would think that they would remove him from the actual, they could actually see while we're working how much aggravation he's causing me. And he wouldn't stop talking to me. They actually had to redo several scenes because of his jitteriness and his ridiculousness. But I'm the one that has to, I'm the one that went through it. He's probably forgotten what he did, and everybody there that day has forgotten what happened in that studio. But me, I'm going to forget it. I have to live with it the rest of my life, but that doesn't mean that I have to let it ruin my life. That's why I'm always so careful about what I say and what I do, because I know that people will have to live with whatever it is that I project out to them for the rest of their life. Yeah, I've been an actress since I was a kid, Leia. I've been acting and musical theater, television, music, all just for fun because I love it. Now I'm trying to get back into. I've been trying to get back into the acting thing since 2015. I'm gonna have to go ahead and write my friend in California though, and see if she will maybe write me a referral letter. She said she would. I just been to. I guess I just thought I could do it on my own, but I guess sometimes you need to ask people for help. Because there were several agencies that I sent my resume out to and managers, but they were all like, well, we see the hard work you've done online, but we still need someone to write a referral for you. Blah, 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 blah. With that whole letter referral thing. Because I thought, I'm just going to keep try and do this on my own. Do this on my own. I'm always struggling to do it on my own. It's like, oh God. Now I'm just trying to manifest something different. I've got to think differently outside the box. I don't worry about what people say about me because I know who I am here, and I know who I'm going to be when I get to the end of me. Okay? And the worst thing anyone can say about me contains some truth about them. So I just keep moving forward. Like, I think it's more sick for someone to orbit your Instagram instead of talk to you, or look your phone number up on white pages and call you on the phone and say hi. Whereas many people would think it was the other way around, that if you were getting on white pages, which has been around for 100 years, okay, and has been a regular way for people to find each other and make contact, they actually think that's stalking. Like, I can't begin to tell you how many times I told Molly, well, why don't you just look his number up on white pages and give him a call? Oh, now he'd think I was a stalker. I'm just gonna keep looking at his Instagram and stalking his profiles and try to figure out shit without actually taking real action. But yeah, just got to understand that in regards to other people, Ariana, you just keep being the best version of yourself, and focus on what resonates and leave the rest behind, darling. All these people who live in hate, it's ridiculous. He was a total son of a bacon to you. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, because some people feel validated to catfish you. Some people feel validated that they can just show up, a version of themselves that isn't really them, to catfish you so that they can vet you or figure out if you're the one. Or it's so weird. It's so weird. You just call me. Just call me. Don't come on my tarot show and a mentoring show and tell me, ask me a stupid fucking question about us. You don't know me. For free energy update. Don't come here and tell me, you've got a crush in front of 50 people. Fucking just tell me in an IM or a DM. Like, I don't understand what's up with all this secrecy and everyone treating themselves and treating everybody else like they're some kind of celebrity, or even though celebrities are any better than anybody else. It's ridiculous. I mean, some of the stuff that like I've run into here on the channel with people and the things that they say about like their lives, people they celebrities in general, the tarot card readers on YouTube, and what they tell people that actually hurt them, and then they come to my channel and I'm like, these people just suck. It's not you, it's them. And that's kind of hard sometimes for people to relate to, is that it's really not them at the end of the day. And that's once again where I don't think that everybody's you pushed out. I don't feel that everybody's you pushed out works with everybody. I think some people have a different frequency and they stay there, and you never have to really, you never really have to see or experience it if you don't want to. I think some of the negative stuff that has happened with other people um, could have been manifested through chaotic disorder and fear. Yes, that happens for all of us. But we do have the power to change it. So it's really all up to you. It's really all up to you, Ariana. It's really all up to all of you to choose um, what you want to do with this knowledge, or whatever knowledge that you get from your vortex and dreams or visions. You feel you need to work on it, simple as that. But manifesting your SP, but your ex shows up. Addison was actually talking about this the other day in regards to uh, what did she call it? Birds before land. I had never heard this until she mentioned it. Um, so she said basically that that's obviously what they call when the $5 scratch off ticket wins with $1 million win doesn't. Do they call that um, pennies before land or something? um, but the reason this happens and the X shows up, or the person in your version of your reality that maybe you didn't want to ever see again. It's just a man. So I hope this person doesn't hit them. Okay, nobody got hit. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say here is in regards to, once again, manifesting SP, but X shows up. The reason this happens is because you shifted on the inside. So now everybody, even all your nasty exes and wicked witches, have to show up according to how you shifted your thoughts about yourself, others, and the world around you. Because you shifted yourself. I know, once again, they say everything and everyone is the same subconscious as you. Okay, whatever. I give up. I just don't know if I believe in that 120%. Um, but I do believe the way you feel and think about others will be reflected back. The way that you assume them to reflect back to you. So, like, you know, you like someone, you care about them, you want to hear from them, but you tell yourself that's never going to happen. Or you tell yourself, well, they never do that, so I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell yourself the opposite of what you want. And the more you tell yourself the opposite of what you want, the less your self concept is. The more you tell yourself what you want, the more you live in that feeling. Like, that's why today I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna serve the feelings of what I want instead of what I don't. When I go the other path, it hurts. Hey Cecilia, welcome to the Chammy. The only Chammy where you can get a professional tarot card reading from a haunted house in a haunted graveyard from a haunted person. So let's see what else is in my notes. Maybe it wasn't your ex, maybe it was a less desirable person. Maybe it was like a friend and you really dig this friend, okay, but they've got a crush on you and you don't have a crush on them. You don't have anything for them. Yeah, they might be a soulmate friend, but you don't feel that romantic frequency with them in any way, shape, or form. Um, Once again, that could be, I think, birds before land, Addison, couldn't it be? Um, you know, then some people who don't know what manifesting is, they might think, why is it that I'm manifesting my SP, but my ex is showing up? What's happening once again? It's because you shifted. For those who don't know about law of assumption, they'll look at this as a negative me, like, oh shit, my manifestation didn't work. My SP didn't show up. My specific person didn't show up. My person of interest, oh my goodness. Just this has shown up. The guy not really into, or the ex that I don't want to be back with. You know, and people who don't know about the law of assumption will give negative meaning. I hope the dog will calm down. One second, guys and gals. I'm getting a headache from the dog. One second. So can you guys hear me loud and clear? Okay. You know, like I was saying, so people, things, your situations, they will form depending on your thoughts, your beliefs, and what you match up with them. If you're thinking about, you know, why is it that your SP, you know, why is it that your neighbor you can't stand just goes by, but, you know, shows up instead of the neighbor that you like, you know? Because everybody has to show up because you shifted. Once again, like I was saying, people can have, you know, the inadequate feelings of, oh shit, manifesting SP, guess manifesting doesn't work. This shithead is back with the ex, blah, blah, blah. It's your reality not showing. Or less desirable person shows up. Why is the SP not showing up? And why is the ex coming back? You know, I only want my SP. But, you know, need to give this meaning, the feeling meaning, knowing that it's more, you know, it's just as important as the desire, because your SP is going to be the next one that shows up. Doesn't matter if you've fallen off your bandwagon. You're having a bad day. It doesn't matter if you don't even believe. Once again, I didn't believe I'd be a singer ever because I was mostly deaf. Okay. And now I'm a singer. And just because I just knew it would happen one day. Same with love. Okay. I told you about a guy who dumped me because of gas prices, so I must really suck, right? You know, or my ex-fiance who was like, oh, you have nothing to offer people, nothing to offer anyone. You know, and I stayed for so many years in the liking of that, in the feeling of that, in the knowing of it, in the negative vortex that these people, you know, put their thoughts in. It's like, what can I tell her that's the most terrible thing of, you know, that's not true about her, so I can leave her but keep mind controlling her. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and then she'll think this about herself because I'm the most important person to her in her whole world. She'll think this shit about herself, and then that way, when I want to come back, I can just weasel my way in because she'll be thinking that, you know, she has nothing to offer anybody. And then he did try to come back. Sorry, you can't come home, Gold. I'm sorry. You're watching this. So, anyways, yeah, and that was me, and that's who I was. And it made me turn my back on my music. It made me turn my back on my dreams, and it made me turn my back on myself. So don't let that happen to you guys. I mean, it also did not help that, you know, I am a victim of attempted murder. So coinciding with that PTS and trauma of the words affecting me and how they made me feel about myself, you have nothing to offer anybody. I can't come see you because gas prices went up and inflation, blah, 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 blah. What? And I started realizing that wasn't true. I just started telling myself, I can't stay like this anymore. And from that day, it's just gotten better and better. But in regards to manifesting your SP, the house of your dreams, the car of your dreams, the life of your dreams, the bank account of your dreams, whatever, keep persisting in what you want. Nothing has a meaning unless you give it a meaning. So if you're a specific person from California and you see, and you're not, and you see, or you are, and you see their town and the name of the state they live in on it, yeah, that's probably a sign. But it doesn't mean anything unless you give meaning to it. Okay? Just like a fart. Everybody farts backwards. It doesn't mean anything unless you give it a meaning. And you start playing an actual fart game with it and emotionalizing it and laughing over it, okay? So just remember your SP is next, your manifestation is next, and you need to continue persisting in that moment right now. You have your desire right now. You're complacent. You're feeling peaceful. You've got that relief that it's already yours, that it's already done. It's almost a smile. Because you're just so pleased with how it feels, knowing what it feels like to have what you want, and knowing that the universe is there to co-create it with you. Your creator, whatever your creator was, is there to co-create it with you, and you can't fuck it up. Okay? People don't just get on YouTube and talk about this stuff because it doesn't work or they don't believe it. Now, there are some channels okay? And they'll go ahead and get some artificial intelligence to write it up for them, and then get artificial intelligent voice to say it. Microsoft or Siri or whatever. And at the end of the day, I don't really know that those people behind those faces YouTube care. But there are actually people talk about this stuff like I do all the time. Because it works. I think it might be like, this is the thing. People carry on this same high school mentality, whether they're 15 or 50, darling. Okay? So it's up to you to be the best version of yourself. Okay? Not to be the exception, but to be the best version of yourself here and feel good with yourself here. Because when you can feel good with yourself here and here, that's when you're going to get to that consciousness state, that frequency where, you are the bitch in control, the, bitch in control of herself, the babe in total control of herself. Staying on the pedestal. Persisting in what you want, despite the naysayers and the negative and the boogeyman. Persisting because it's done, because you know it's a done deal. Just knowing, even trying, you're doing an amazing job. Don't give up. Because the more that you persist, no matter what you want has to harden. It's just universal law. It's just science. So what about being hard on yourself about your manifestation? when you've poured your heart out to your SP, that's still okay. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like you today with the guy you messaged and he didn't respond the way you wanted him to. That's okay. That's fine. Because you can't mess it up. You can revise it. You can revise. And I know it's been making you feel icky all day, so I want you to tell yourself something different. Like you did earlier to make yourself feel better. Even though it's pretty harsh, burning the fiery pits of hell. But it's okay. It made you feel better and it helped you rise above. Well, yeah, I know. And I am also one of those people, don't try, do. Because there's no such thing as try, like the way Yoda is. But even just trying, give yourself a pat on the back because it's not fucking easy. I have found myself listening to our mentors' subliminals, and I was just crying like a baby. Like, what's wrong with you, Chloe? Jesus fucking Christ, get it together, bitch. Yes, my name is Stormy, but Chloe is my nickname. Since I was a kid. So sometimes you'll hear people call me Chloe here, or I will call myself Chloe. But yes, if you are trying, just give yourself a pat on the back because it's amazing that you're even trying and you're doing a great job of it. You can revise from scrambled eggs to eggs Benedict if you want. Okay. Even if you want to change it from eggs Benedict to sunny side up, you can. I'm just gonna let this plane go by, the Porsche go by, and oh my god. Is anybody else freaked out by helicopter sounds? Like, I don't know. It's a huge trigger for me. Huge trigger. And I don't know if it's because my mom would always freak out because of I think it's because my mom would freak out because of the helicopters from Vietnam that she worked on. My mom was a civilian nurse in Vietnam and did helicopter evac frontline. So every time we would get in a situation where we'd hear a helicopter, she'd freak out really bad. Trauma, PTSD, people can't help it. She was also afraid of heights because of the helicopter rides. So anyways, like I was saying, you can even use manifestation to stop hate, stop violence, stop wars, stop anger, start more peaceful connection with people, more peaceful conversations with people. Everything that's happening in Russia right now and between Russia and Ukraine doesn't have to be happening. Do you guys know that I spent years promoting a book that I wrote about the situation? Just to try to bring some peace, just to try to bring some regulations that create this kind of war. Okay. And I'm sorry, it did really poor. It did really poorly. It did terrible. I want to turn it into a movie. I really want to turn it into a movie. Great people who will help me do that one day. But it's like at the same time, it's like I wrote a book about this and I feel like it didn't help. So I'm going to change and shift that reality. Okay, I heard today about how a bunch of Greek Cypriot guys beat up a Turkish girl because she didn't want to go out on a date with them. They didn't beat her up because she didn't want to go out on a date with them. They beat her up because she was Cypriot Turkish. Different reasons. They've also had a lot of stuff that has come up in the 3D reality being Greek Cypriot where, I've had my own family members shot to death because they were And, these are all things that don't have to happen in the world, I feel that we could be living in a state of peace. I feel like we could be living in a state of love where everything was just okay. And everybody on the planet is actually happier, healthier, and wealthier. We feel like too big, but too much worry into certain things that are more selfish than selfless when manifesting. That we're talking about now, where when your manifestation doesn't show up, and you get bummed, and you get down, and you start to get revengeful, hateful, deceitful, or mean with yourself and mean with your thoughts. Like, I really feel that we could all vibrate together and change the world in a matter of moments. But there's just so much chaos and so much more disconnect than connection, when it should be more that we're connected through social media. But I just feel like it's just not possible for some people. But that could be a living being. I mean, it really could be. Maybe if I change the way I think about it, everybody else would too, without me even trying. Yeah. Well, and I also think being a celebrity is different when you're born one instead of become one. Really, hey, I'm back. You there, Addison? I got me an iced coffee. So my dad was telling me yesterday that I guess my grandfather Kamalis had carob trees on the farm in Cyprus that were 50 feet tall. My dad said he used to wake up in the morning and just pull the fruit off the tree. But he kept telling me what the name of the tree was in Greek, and then we had to call my aunt in England to ask her what he was talking about. And then I started to search what it looks like what the carob tree looks like and what they look like fully grown. They're gargantuan. And supposedly, which I thought this was an interesting fact about them, they're like all over California, which I felt like maybe that was a sign for me about the whole moving back to California thing. Like, Ariana's been talking about signs. Then I saw another sign today that maybe I should not buy a house in Tennessee was because I felt like it would be good to have in my portfolio. Real estate. So I'd like to get into real estate because everybody wants to move to Nashville and become a star. So I thought maybe it would be beneficial for me to have a home there for a little while and then live in build interest, and then move out to California and rent out there. Though I realized I could probably do that from Atlanta. One thing that was assigned to maybe not move here. Once again, this is my biggest problem with Tennessee are the hate groups. And I don't want to. Georgia was bad enough. I can't believe we live in Georgia. And my mom hated Georgia because of how racist it was. She wouldn't even drive through Georgia when we would go visit family in Kansas City and come back to Florida. We were driving because there were signs that said, like, if you're black, turn back. If you're brown, turn around. And it's those kind of hate groups in Tennessee. Okay, and there's over like 30 of them. They were talking about them on the national scene today. And it was like, it's really a gas station with a sign that says Proud Boys did nothing wrong. Like, what? Are you kidding me? And I don't know that I want to get into that. It's bad enough. Every time I find I get people, or in any neighborhood, just like house. Like, I do. I just almost bought a house there. I really feel once again, I just keep running into people who are discriminative and racist, which is another sign showing me that maybe I don't need to. I'm to the point where it's like, I don't want to live there if I'm going to have to live outside of Davidson County, to be real honest, because of the hate groups that are outside in Davidson County. And at this point now, the way George is getting, I don't know where to go. Maybe I should just get on a plane and go back to Cyprus. Even though I want to go get on a plane and go to Cyprus, I'm actually going to be starting up a GoFundMe for my dad because he hasn't seen his family in 40 years. He's 77 years old, and I'd like to take him to see his family one last time. Or what's left of his siblings and his family. And I'd like to do it sooner than later. Because I plan on going to England too, as well. You should come with us for that too. Come to see Nikki and Sophia. I want to meet Sophia so bad. Slow down! You idiots driving through the neighborhood at 40 miles an hour. Big enough Harley for 2 cars. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Revise. Yeah, he's just like a YouTuber, wasn't he? Didn't he get popular on YouTube? Singer. I just don't care. Haters and negative Nancy's and naysayers and boogeymen. And honestly, like, I think that burning down the ideology of popular high schoolers and celebrities. I mean, I feel like social media has allowed people to become even more extreme in ways I never imagined. It really doesn't impress me. What impresses me is like how someone makes me feel about myself, how they feel about, you know, themselves, how they treat others, how they treat me. I've just never been one of these people who's like, wow, they're so popular. I just don't give a fuck. I'm not against it. I'm not against people being well liked or popular or famous or anything. I'm not like against any of that. It's just not something that, oh my God, what are you? Please don't be a kissing bug. Oh, you're a firefly. Hey there, baby. Thought it was a kissing bug for a second, but it wasn't. Like, I'm not against popular people or well liked people or celebrities. I'm more likely to get jealous of your piece of cake before your car. Um, so once again, your manifestation is always a work in progress, and you can't fuck it up because you can always revise. So isn't that a wonderful feeling? Um, Take what doesn't feel right, learn from it, pick it apart, observe, um, and start addressing it. What doesn't feel right. Take a look at once again what's going on up here and in here. What's going on with your self concept? Start working on your self concept. Maybe start pulling away, Ariana, from the ideology of popular high school kids and celebrities. Even being a thing that you're worried about in your life, or that because it triggers you. It triggers you. It triggers you, obviously, to think that there's actually a real thing going on the planet where there's such thing as classes of people. Some are popular, some are not. Some are rich, some are not. Some are stereotypical, some are more cliche, some are not. But it's all labeled. It doesn't matter. What matters is who are you going to be when you, because that's how people are going to remember you. We all go in the same hole. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how much fame you have, where you come from. We all go in the same hole. Okay, your fame, you go in the hole. Okay, so what you leave behind and how you are remembered is important before you go in that hole. So once again, shift back to the feelings and the reality that you want. Keep telling yourself that you've got what you want, even if you don't. Because why? It's living in the end, knowing that it's already going to be. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, or it is done. Whatever feels right to you. Many people can feel very triggered, really bothered, and really tortured by the thought of I reached out to get the response I wanted. But utilize your revision in a time like that. to see things differently. We're never stuck with anything. It's kind of like that saying, like, God will never hand you something that you can't handle. I can't handle this, and give up. And just hand it back over. Be like, peace out. Because I had such a different, feeling about living in the end, I had to practice it. So like, I'll be in my apartment, and I'll be in my kitchen, and I'll just be pretending. Hold on. What is that god awful noise? Anyways, living in the end is all about knowing something is going to happen. So once again, being in the knowing is just like saying it is done, or it is going. So when you're practicing living in the end, one good way to practice living in the end is, once again, I like to use my kitchen as an example. I pretend that I'm cooking in my green magic kitchen instead of the haunted dump. That's an example of living. And once again, I call it pretend, but what it really is feeling in the green magic kitchen instead of in the haunted dump kitchen with the rusted out dishwasher and the stove top that just doesn't work that great. And if you don't watch it, it'll burn your food. And the oven that only cooks everything at 350 degrees and maybe even 500 sometimes. I haven't had a chance to pin this yet. I'm going to go ahead and pin it at the top. So you want to be in a desire. You go through meeting a lot of different people. Once again, that's another thing that you can revise with anybody you want, Ariana, of your life. Very distilled version of just saying, it's going to happen. Like, I know it's going to happen with my SP. Like, hey, what do you feel about this that I've written you into my movie? Oh, how do I feel about it? I know it's going to happen. Many people have different views on what living in the end is. My viewpoint is, that you can know something is going to happen, and that's enough. You don't have to say it's already happened. You don't have to believe, because you're feeling. You wouldn't be feeling it if you didn't already subconsciously believe it. So, Ariana, if you believe that, you're going to get ghosted, you're going to get ghosted, girl. So, saying, it's going to happen is the same as saying or feeling it is done, it is done, it is done. When you're in that state of knowing, in my experience, that's the kind of ultimate living in the end. When my dad was on chemo, I was like, we're not going to call this chemo. We're going to call this therapy. Well, okay. And he didn't emotionalize too much having it. Like, it was like, oh, I have this? Okay, let's get it cleaned up. Let's clear this up. There was no fear. There was no crying. There was no freaking out from him. Very strong man. Very good manifester. Now, what's next? Winning the lottery? Going home? Seeing our family? I hope so. I mean, it's not a far-fetched dream. It could happen today. And I know it's so silly to be like, oh, I want to manifest money so I can take my dad to see his family. But what else am I going to manifest? Let me just put this on my list. Of course, we all have wobbles, especially when we know it's done. We'll still have wobbles. But if you know it's done, you just keep living your life. Oh, oops, I had a wobble, and keep going. And don't worry too much about it. It's when you get into the worrying too much about your wobble, worrying too much about what that will cause, worrying too much about that state of it's done. So why? Because you were never stuck with anything. Why? Because you can revise. Especially when you know what living in the end is all about. SP not showing up, but the X's, stop thinking about the X. Stop thinking about the glitch in the matrix. Keep persisting with your manifestation. Better or different home or lifestyle or new car or whatever it is you want. Okay? Ooh, mosquito, please don't kiss my eye. About all that and a bag of chips. I know it's like been a really long time since I've been online. Like I've been here for 2 hours, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so that's what that's all about. And that's what I wanted to discuss today. Like many people come here and they ask these questions to the tarot cards over and over and over again. And that's fine. Because at least they're thinking about it differently. But it's still, if I can give information in regards to how to actually, start turning some of these readings you get into your reality instead of spirit just saying, hey, you can have this. This is how it really is. So does anybody have any questions? Is it just the three of us? Chat this. restart the live and hang out for the next hour and maybe do some readings. Because I've already been here for 2 hours. So if I refresh the live and hang out for about another hour before I go for my walk and to make dinner, maybe more people will come by for a reading. Do the collective free message and then just restart the live. And then rename this something like, because this was more like, I feel like a mentoring session than a tarot card reading thing. And then that way, maybe anybody who comes by later will realize. All right, gonna do a free collect message, and then I will come right back. Okay, here's the free collective message for anybody who maybe have found this later, or maybe found this, or maybe found this and came by and did not get a reading today. What is on my hat? Oh my goodness. I hope it's not a bug. Yes. Here's a free collective message for everyone who came by the chat today and maybe didn't get a reading, or anybody who might find this live later on. Oh, wow. So 8 of Wands. Oh, that was definitely not reversed. 8 of Wands, quick communication coming in. Maybe some of you are going to go travel and make sure that your communication is clear and that your path is also an open road in regards to knowing where you're going and what you're going to be doing in this 8 of Wands, okay? Let's see. I'm closing the portal for this session. Arrivederci, sayonara.